Can you give me a beat?
No.
No? Alright, that's probably for the best. Welcome everybody to episode 102 of the Fetch Everyone Weekly podcast.
Fetch Everyone is a free website for runners, cyclists, swimmers and everyone else. Some websites put their best features behind a paywall. We don't do that. Everything is free for everyone.
Hello everybody. First of all, I normally like to say don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. So if you have iTunes or Spotify or anything like that, you can hit the subscribe button and we'll be in your ears on a regular basis, semi-regular anyway. And I'm joined here by the lovely Katie. All right?
Yes, I'm here, and but I was just lost in thought, imagining the eye rolling that would have come from especially my youngest son, at the thought of me giving you a beat.
Beatboxing. I bet you could.
I bet I could not. My eldest son definitely used to do beatboxing quite a lot, and sort of sometimes it would just be, he'd just be sitting in the car next to you and there he would be beatboxing away.
To check he was all right, sort of thing, or what?
No.
He's very good at it.
He's pretty good at it.
Yeah.
But the thought of how they would feel, even if they didn't ever listen to it, probably just the thought of knowing that somewhere recorded on the internet was me beatboxing would be bad.
Schrodinger's beatbox. The fact that it exists.
Yeah.
There's probably a dead cat inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's where my brain was just then while we were doing that bit.
Where's it now?
It's watching my dog do some of her weird eccentric stuff. Anyway, I'm here. I'm okay. I'm raring to go. It's Monday morning.
Let's bring it on then. Let's continue to talk about things. There's no Stephen today. I've just taken him to the vets for some dental work.
Yeah.
He is an otherwise very healthy dog, but he has some gammy teeth, shall we say. So he's going, and so all the best to him for his lovely long sleep this morning.
I'm hoping he'll come back with fresher breath, because his breath it's quite stunning. Like, literally stunning.
Yeah.
So, hopefully they'll sort that out for him, because he is an otherwise healthy dog.
Yes. We'll have that put on his tombstone. An otherwise healthy dog.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, but he was looking pretty perky going in and tried to leap on the vet.
Yeah.
As well, and made a little deposit in their car park for them.
Oh.
So he's fighting fit. Otherwise,
our thoughts are with him.
Yeah.
And again, background noise is courtesy of my weird elderly dog.
Yeah, so she's rubbed her back on the underneath of the chair, and now she's on the mat, just sort of like flinging herself from side to side like a goalkeeper with a very itchy back. So
it reminds me a little bit of, that clip of Homer where he's lying on the ground and he starts kind of going round in circles using his legs. That exact thing.
That one, yeah.
That one. It was reminding me a little bit of Homer Simpson. She's stopped now, thank goodness. Right, go to your bed and be quiet now. So how's your training been then?
I'm pretty happy with where my legs are.
They're in the usual place?
They are where I left them. Just take a minute.
Nearly got the T on the keyboard then.
Why is it always the keyboard? I mean, surely you just lean to one side. Or does it come across you so quickly you just can't?
No comment.
So, I've done 2 5-milers this week. I was aiming for 3, but I got to Sunday and I thought, you know what, my legs are feeling pretty good. I don't want to get them to a point where they're not feeling pretty good. So I'm just going to leave it an extra day. And now I've just had some toast. So I might leave it till tomorrow now, actually.
Okay.
So, I'm pretty happy with the fact that I was able to run my 5-milers, which is my sort of default distance. And I'll carry on doing that this week, and hopefully all will carry on being well. But I've also been doing some fairly brisk walking with the dog. He's sort of, oh dear.
That was actually Wine Legs messaging me to say, get moving. I think it must have been a message to me and Silver Shadow and Elsie, because it says, get moving and don't forget to log your dog walks, Katie.
Right.
That's what she said. So
ironically,
remind
exactly
me,
what I was talking about.
Yes, yeah, remind me to remind you to keep talking about that.
Okay, all right, I shall continue.
Yeah.
Now, so I've been logging my dog walks as well, and also been sort of trying to do them as briskly as I can as well, just to, I don't know why, just to see, like, you know, how
to
fast.
Make them more exercisey?
Yeah, I
see
suppose
what your pace is.
To see how quickly I could walk a mile. And the first mile is there are always at least 2 punctuations in the first mile, so he needs a number 1 and a number 2 during that time. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see what my pace is. I haven't actually looked at what my quickest mile was during the week, but anyway, I have enjoyed doing the walking side of things as well, and obviously that's all tied in with my competitive urges to keep up with the Castle Challenge. But I'll talk a bit more about what I've been doing on that this week later on. But as far as my training goes, I'm quite happy with it. I'm even thinking that on the days when I don't run, I'd like to make sure I do a longer walk. So on the days when I run, just, you know, a little tootle around the block with the dogs to let them blow off some steam. But on the days when I don't run, just do a little bit more, just to work those legs.
Yeah, I'm definitely up for that. I want to do as much walking as possible, really. So if I can have company while I do it, that'd be great.
Cool. Well, maybe not kind of the distances that you're talking about, because you're sort of...
No, but on a weekday, I'm not going to be doing big distances, am I? I'm just...
Yeah, but an hour's walk, say, or something like that. Sounds about right.
About 3 miles, yeah. It's good.
Cool. So that's a nice little segue for you to tell us about your training now. Yep,
I've had a good week this week. I've done 2 swims. I've walked about 16 miles, although that's only the logged miles. I've done a couple of yogas, and I haven't done any running, and that's fine. I'm not too worried about that, really. I might do some this week if the feeling takes me. But yeah, I did a nice walk on Saturday with Fetchies and the Fetch dog. The non-Fetch family Fetch dog.
Yeah.
There are many Fetch dogs. Anyway, we did a walk, and we averaged, so just talking about walking pace, so that was a walk on footpaths mainly, and we averaged 21:36 according to me. Although I think I need to trim that, because the last sort of 0.08 was in the car, because I forgot to stop my watch, so I need to trim that, so it might be a little bit skewed. The rest of the time I'm around sort of 20 to 22 minute miling. But I think most of those walks do have bits of stops and starts in them, because I know I can do an 18-minute mile if I'm just like focused and keep going. Yeah. And quicker sometimes as well. So
when you're walking, what sort of routes are you aiming to, like, go and see pretty things, or like to what have you seen on out and about?
What have I seen out and about? Well, so when I'm walking around here, I'm obviously just doing the usual sort of river path, priory, embankment. I did a couple of walks last Wednesday that took me to my first aid course and back, because I did a first aid course on Wednesday, and that's just about a mile just into the other end of the embankment. But yeah, the walking's going well. I feel like after the 7 that we did on Saturday, that I didn't feel quite as tired, and it went quickly. I felt like, oh, we're at 5 miles. Oh, that doesn't feel like 5 miles. So I think that's good. It sort of suggests that my endurance for walking is building up, which is nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good, and we're continuing with the Heritage Trail in little bits, and then sort of looping back to where the cars were. We did have a plan to go and swim in the river after the walk, but just as we got back to the cars, it was raining and it was very cold, and I think we all just felt quite hungry, so we just ate cake and went home. But that was nice. So yeah, that was good. And I've had a couple of lake swims, which have been really lovely to do. I'm not worrying too much at the moment about time. I'm just getting them done, getting used to feeling myself in the water.
God.
I don't feel myself in the water. Not like that.
No.
I think I'd get thrown out of box end. No. What I mean is...
You've got the far end, I suppose.
I'd one of the... No, let's not go down that route. I don't do that. I just getting used to my swimming ability in the water. Is that better?
Yes. Yeah. Proprioception in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah.
And
that person over there is propriocepting.
That's what a dry robe is for. No. Anyway.
Right. On a related note, I've just looked up my quickest mile of walking, and I managed a 15:57.
Oh, very good.
Which includes a number 1 and a number 2. So I
say.
Yeah.
For you or the dog?
No, I think it'd be more like half an hour if it included one for me. But and a bridge over the railway as well. So yeah.
You built it?
Yes, I did. Okay. I was incredibly...
Oh, sorry, I'm being facetious.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
That's very good. Yeah, I think I'd struggle with that sort of speed, but I'd give it a go.
Yeah, I mean, it was part of a 1.09 mile walk, so it's like I wouldn't imagine I could keep that up for very long. But just brisk walking. It's kind of like running, but not, you know. We're in a bit of a stupid mood today, aren't we?
Oh, we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And just to really briefly finish off my training chat, such as it is, I've done a couple of yogas, and just to be kind of contrary to what I was saying last time, I did yoga on my own yesterday with no one telling me what to do. So having said last week I like having Adrian telling me what to do, yesterday I went freestyle and did what I wanted to do.
So you like it when Adrian tells you what to do, and you like it when you tell yourself what to do, but you don't like it when Adrian is just there silently doing yoga in the background while you work out what it is that you're supposed to do. There's definitely a sort of a...
I think it's just the peering at the screen and sort of... I wouldn't be able to go, oh, she's doing that and I'm doing this, that's fine. I'd feel, oh, I should really be doing that.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Upsets your balances or something.
I don't know. But I haven't done near enough yoga because I'm absolutely addicted to knitting socks. I can't seem to help myself. Every spare minute I want to get on and do my socks.
I've got to say, Fetchies, I'm currently wearing a pair of Katie's socks that she has created for me, not like I haven't just raided her drawers. Yes, and they're lovely. So they're really comfortable.
Yeah.
Normally by about sort of 8:30 in the evening, and Katie will testify, I take my socks off and try and throw them as close to the wall as I possibly can. It's become a thing.
Yeah.
But last night I kept them on because they were so deliciously comfortable.
Yes. They are good. They're good socks. So I've got a big bag full of lovely yarns of beautiful colours, and I'm creating socks for my family next. So
yeah. If there's anyone listening who likes a bit of the old yarnage, do you want to give a shout out to the place where you get your patterns from?
Absolutely. So I've been following the Beanie Boat on Instagram, and Beanie Boat is a knitting and soapery business, and other little bits and bobs as well. So Nikki has started a business, I think for a few years now, but left a kind of quite high and stressful, high-flying, stressful job sort of thing in London, and started this business. She lives on a beautiful boat and creates really, really nice beanies. So she sells beanies, she sells other knitted goods, and she also sells yarn and kits and patterns. And so the current sock pattern that I'm knitting is the latest release from her, and I love it. And the ones that Ian's wearing are a pattern called Escape Socks.
When you say like a lovely boat,
yes.
You don't mean like a yacht in the West Indies for a sock empire, do you?
No, I mean what are they called? longboat, canal boat.
Canal boat. I think I'd call them canal boats. Longboats I associate with Vikings and the like, but they might well be, canal boats might be more accurately called longboats. I don't know.
Okay.
We need a fact check on the podcast thread, please. But Beanie Boat Nikki is fetchy as well.
Yes.
So look her up.
Yeah.
And get knitting if that's your thing.
Yeah, I do. She's got some really great patterns, and I really thought that I would find socks very difficult to do. And yes, there is a bit of learning and a bit of YouTube watching and all of that for some of the bits and bobs. And I've only just kind of finally gone, oh, okay, now I understand what I'm actually doing with this heel business. But it is a fantastic bit of little engineering when you get that heel right. But her patterns are very easy to follow. They're very clear and, highly recommended if you are of that persuasion. And if you've ever thought to yourself, oh, I'd like to do socks, but they're far too complicated for me, then I am a very basic knitter. I've only ever sort of really learned a few stitches, and I have knitted jumpers in the past, but again, really sort of basic things. So, yeah, give it a go.
Cool.
Highly recommended. So that's part of my cross training at the moment, is knitting, because I just, every spare minute, I can't wait to get my wool and look at my pattern and tick off each line. And
is it good for the shoulders? For the
it's probably
upper
not
arms?
really to
No?
do it a lot, no, because it's very repetitive. So it's probably just as bad as scrolling on your phone, actually. But anyway, yeah.
So that's us, and you've been trolling through the comments as well, have you?
Yeah, we had some good comments last week. So Happy G very quickly pointed out that it was probably wine legs. As much as she tried to disguise her accent, it was her. And Lip Gloss thought it was Mrs. Jiggs.
Yeah.
But there we go. It wasn't. Sorry, Lip Gloss. We loved Alfie's xylophone. Thank you to Alfie for allowing that to be a part of our podcast, because it's wonderful. The thing that was pointed out about Room 101 is that it's actually the torturing is using the absolute worst fears of the person from the book 1984. This is, and so really, if I was to put my worst fear in Room 101, it would be a very steep, very windy pathway, sort of side of a mountain type thing.
Yeah.
With a moth fluttering around my head.
And a big screen showing an episode of Top Gear or something like that.
Oh, that's not really my worst fear.
Jeremy got to know, right?
No,
okay.
I can cope with that. Yeah, moths, steep slopes, windiness. No, thank you. Not good with that.
Toilet roll hung improperly in an overhand fashion.
I don't care about that.
Okay.
What are your fears?
What are my fears? I don't know. They're all kind of a bit too serious.
Okay, fair enough.
Or like phobias or things I'm irrationally scared of. Oh, well, I mean, I suppose like going underwater still sort of panics me a little bit, the thought of it. Although I know that I'm capable of it, having done some diving, 3 years ago now? Like, do you remember holidays, everybody? Do you remember when we used to go on holidays?
Yeah.
But sort of, I'm playing a game called Assassin's Creed at the moment, and one of the things that your character has to do is dive underwater into these caves around the Greek islands to find treasure and fight sharks and whatnot. But just when she dives under the water, I actually feel the same sort of anxiety that I feel when I'm doing it myself. Yeah. And it's proper weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I get the same thing when I'm watching someone on a steep or, like a,
facing down a moth.
Not necessarily that, but when you see those clips of people and they appear to be walking along the edge of a sort of razor sharp kind of very high up mountain. Yeah. And it looks like if they fell either side of it, that would be certain death.
Yeah. That.
When I see that, I can feel my palms going sweaty. Yeah. And so I get that. I totally get that. I love underwater. It's so strange how one person's worst fear can be another person's joy.
Yeah. What about stuff like you'd see on the programme Room 101? Like, for me, it's people who don't keep left on the motorway, who just like sit in the middle lane.
Yeah.
But that's somehow offset by the people who don't understand average speed cameras. Because they're the greatest joy to me when I see them flying past.
Yeah.
They just don't understand, and you see them braking where the actual camera is. But
yeah.
So yeah, people who are in the middle lane when they don't need to be.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I think we're getting on to more like toilet roll stuff now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So people that
toilet rolls then? People
that don't change get to the end of the roll and don't bother putting a new one on.
Oh, jeebus. Right, hang on, fetchies. I'll be back in a minute.
Anyway, so that was interesting. Thanks for that info on Room 101. How far has said that he was on a run with people, like on a run with them, and fell and they didn't notice, and at the end someone noticed the blood on him and his ripped shirt and sort of went, oh, did you fall? So you think it's bad that people not running with you didn't do anything about your falling, but how far was actually with people and they didn't notice?
Wow.
That's pretty impressive, huh? Lots of people complimenting the interview with Linz and Flying Scotsman, and yes, thanks you too, that was awesome.
We've got another one coming up in a couple of weeks. Actually,
Brill.
I've had the recording through. It's Ed J interviewing Groundhog.
We've had it through.
I've had the email overnight with messaging, so we're blathered on for long enough this week, but we'll include that next time or time after.
Okay. You might hear it today, who knows. Do you want to talk much about Pythagorean triples, or do you want to just breeze past that nice and quickly?
I'm going to breeze past it slowly.
Okay.
Okay, I got it wrong. It's fine.
He doesn't like getting things wrong, Fetchies.
No. What I found particularly galling was Philip M. Jones not just pointed out that I was wrong, but drew a diagram showing how awful the triangle would look if it had been designed to the proportions I had suggested. So thank you very much for that, Philip M. Jones. You're a trooper.
I think Philip M. Jones gave you a dose of the sort of medicine you would give someone else if they were wrong in the same way. So
okay, right. And here's the accompanying diagram. Okay. Yeah, but no, seriously, thank you very much. Yes, of course, I meant 5, 12, and 13.
Silly boy.
Yeah, I was just testing you all.
And I knew that as well, but I just didn't want to correct you on the podcast. So
it's kind.
And other than that, just we are very cosy as a podcast, which is nice.
Oh, like socks.
Like socks. I'm knitting us a cosy podcast. How's that? That's that. That's the comments.
That's that bit done, right? Okay. Yeah. So site news, and we mentioned this briefly earlier, but the Castle Challenge or Castle Quest. I'm wondering whether or not to just shorten it down to Castle Quest a little bit. But anyway, you all know what I'm talking about. And it's been a fun week. I'm just distracted because there's a little bird peering in through the window at us going, oh, you got any crumbs?
Oh, I haven't put the mealworms out for them.
Hey, you got any crumbs?
I'll put the mealworms up quickly.
Okay. While I talk and no one listens.
Yeah, okay. I'm listening.
All right. So the Castle Challenge, I've made some changes this week. There is a pacing dragon, and I asked my son for a name for the dragon, and he suggested Darwin, which I thought was a great name, survival of the fittest and all that. So he appears on the leaderboard now, and if you're above Darwin, then you're on track to finish on time. And if you're below him, you've got a little target that is a little quicker than the whole 600 miles. So it'll hopefully gives you something to aim at each day. And I've also added some little checkpoint icons, so little castle icons. And I drew those myself. I was really quite pleased with those. And there are now 12 badges as well. And Lime Green Jelly, I think, is already eaten her third badge, whereas I'm still waiting to collect my first one. I'm on about 30 miles, I think. So it's been fun for people, I think, to collect them. People are still enjoying looking at the Street View button to see where they've got up to.
I like that one.
Yeah, it's a little treat every time you go out for a movement. You get to see somewhere new. And I've had a little run of like fairly dull ones at the moment. Like I've been on a dual carriageway, but there are some nice spots.
I've got a nice spot at the moment. On the one side I've got the lovely Welsh hillside.
There's lovely.
Just behind me I've got a roundabout, lovely Welsh one.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the road I've got what looks like a place selling caravans.
Oh yeah, I think a few people have been through the caravan place.
Or mobile homes. Not mobile homes. I don't mean that, do I? What are they called?
Mobile homes.
Look, I'm doing the...
I think they are called caravans.
Okay. That's fine.
Camper vans?
Camper vans, that's the one.
That's
the one I was looking for. Yeah, so that's where I am. So that's quite nice. But I'm behind Darwin again.
Yeah, me too, actually. Yeah, but there we go.
People keep telling me stuff about the website that I don't know. So over the weekend I had Darwin explained to me. And and then the other thing that I found out from Silver Shadow was that you can now challenge a specific person on Who Squares Wins.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Oh.
You should listen to the Fetch Everyone Weekly podcast, because I talk about stuff like that on there.
Did you talk about that? And I just completely didn't hear you say
I said a whole bunch of stuff while they were feeding mealworms to that bird out there, but, you know.
To be fair, though, that blackbird is very grateful and is just absolutely hammering about those mealworms now.
It's hoovering them up with aplomb.
It is. Good, okay. Further comments on that?
None really, other than keep enjoying it.
Yeah,
and,
I am enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. It's giving me a bit of a focus. I will be a bit more careful about what I'm logging, because I haven't been turning my watch on to do things like dog walks, and I'm going to walk to the dentist today, and that'll be a mile there and back. So
I'm hoping to get a message at some point this morning to say whether or not I've got a sponsor for the challenge.
Okay.
Which means that what I'm hoping for is that we'll be able to get some kind of voucher from an online shop that sells things for runners. I won't be any more specific than that. And you gain tickets in the hat for every 50-mile checkpoint that you get through. And then at the end of September, we'll have a draw to pick out a winner. But in not necessarily unrelated news, there is a new affiliate link in the footer of the website. So go and check out the affiliate links in the footer, and Fetch gets approximately 5% of whatever you buy when you go via any of those links to buy things. And I'm hoping that one of those will be our sponsor, so we'll have to wait and see.
Very good. I'm just scrolling through the leaderboard on the Castles Challenge.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that your buddies are slightly highlighted.
And also...
which is nice.
Also, if you click people I follow at the top of the leaderboard...
Oh, yeah.
Then it'll just show you those, plus the checkpoints, plus Darwin.
Darwin says, all right, but...
All right, but...
yeah. Stay by here with me... Sounds great in an English accent, doesn't it? I say, old chap, stay by here with me on about 36.3 to make sure you'll finish in time. Tidy.
Yes, very good.
So I'm in my people I follow. I'm nearly at the bottom of the people I follow.
Yeah, I think I might be close to the bottom than you.
Actually, I'm a mile behind Nightjar. Yeah. And 0.2 behind Elsie. Winelegs is streaking ahead. Yeah.
Every time I come back to the site, Winelegs has logged a walk.
I know.
So there's that. But also I wanted to very quickly mention that if you are a member of Fetch Everyone Running Club or contemplating it, you've just got a little bit of time left to get your applications in for the grant money that we've had for coaching qualifications. So nice. There's a £350 course that you can get for free by submitting your applications. And there's information on the Virk thread about that, or if not, come and ask me.
Bro, that's really good. That's very cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice one.
Yeah.
I don't have a highlight this week. I think I've been too busy knitting to... Well, clearly, I didn't know about the Who Squares Win stuff or about Darwin, so I'm obviously clueless about this. What is this website anyway? And I've got all my things turned on. So maybe have you got anything that you want to highlight?
I just wanted to highlight a thread, which is a nice kind of daily occurrence, and it's the Root of the Day appreciation thread. There's a nice one from, I think it's Dorrit Quine today.
Oh, nice.
It's a beautiful sky. I better check that it is from Dorrit Quine before I sort of give her credit for someone else's picture. Yes, it's Dorrit Quine, and it's Red Moss and Lauriston Loch, and that's loch as in the Scottish loch, not loch as in like the thing on the canal.
That is a beautiful picture.
It's lovely, isn't it? Mm. Yeah, the sky just sort of
amazing
leads you towards the horizon. And then there's a bunch of little interesting looking things sticking out of the water in the foreground as well. It's really lovely. But every day there's a different picture from literally anywhere in the world. Because I add them, as people post pictures, I just sort of stick them on the end of the pile. So occasionally you get like Christmas decorations in the middle of August or whatever. Like there's one on the 3rd of April, which looks like a very snowy scene, but that's not unusual this April, is it?
No. Apparently St Neots had quite a bit of snow last night.
Yeah, so I've heard. So that's my suggestion for a thread to go and follow.
Lovely. We've got a little bit of a contribution here from Fenland Flyer, haven't we?
Yes, we do. Here's the lovely Fenland Flyer.
Hello Fetchers, Fenland Flyer here again. Right, the little conundrum that Katie gave last week was, where am I from? I'm from Lincolnshire, South Lincolnshire. We are not too far from the border of Norfolk. We're not too far from the border of Cambridgeshire. Born and bred South Holland District Council until a couple of years ago, and now we've moved to Boston, just outside of South Holland District Council, and hopefully that solves that little conundrum. The only fork waving I'm going to do, Katie, is where's my next meal coming from, or if it's a cake fork, then where's my cake? So that's the only fork wielding I'm going to do for you. And what else we got to say? Not a lot really. Still no training, no cycling, no running. Keep going to work, doing a little bit, getting out in the garden when I can, get some fresh air. But I think that's it. Take care of yourself, Fetchers, and no doubt you'll hear from me again sometime soon in the future at another episode of the Fetch Everyone Weekly Podcast. And don't forget, if you're fed up with my voice, if you contribute more or a little, then I won't have to do it so often. I only do it so often because they ask for contributions. Fetch and Katie can't do it all on their own every week. So if you add a little bit yourselves, you won't have to hear from me so often. I just want the podcast to be a success, along with Fetch Everyone. Take care of yourselves all, one and all. Bye now.
Thanks, Fenland Flyer. Well, first I can offer my sympathy for the not being able to run aspect of where you're at, because I know how that feels fairly recently, and it sucks. Mm-hmm. But hopefully get all your injuries out of the way and you'll be back at it.
Yeah. No, it's really frustrating, especially when you can't do your cross training thing as well, which he's also can't do his cycling at the moment, and so I follow his blogs, and it's tough, but and I like the fact that he can nearly always come up with a positive or something else that's going on that's kind of okay. And
there's a bit in the middle where he sort of shrugs and goes, well, and that's about it really. I haven't really got much else to say.
Yeah.
And I think we all feel like that
Yeah.
To some extent, we've all been sort of penned in because of this damn thing.
Yeah.
And we're all just sort of trying to get by. So that attitude that he has, that always looks for the positive and try. You know, if he can't run, he'll cycle. If he can't cycle, he'll walk. If he can't walk, he'll keep finding something. I know he will.
But I appreciated the answer to my question as to where you come from, which is Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that really the accents from sort of Lincolnshire and Suffolk and Norfolk do kind of have similarities because they're so close to each other, and they're bound to bleed over from one to the other, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, Lincolnshire goes right up towards, not as far as King's Lynn, but it's not a million miles away, is it? So, which is the start of the Round Norfolk Relay.
Yeah, I guess. Don't really know.
Don't really know.
Don't really know.
Yeah, I think so. But
and he's absolutely right as well. If you want the podcast to contain other voices, then
jolly well do some.
Do so at once.
I'm going to get mad now. You all think this is Cozy Katie? No. I can't do it.
No. Shall I give you a beat?
No, but go on. Give us some contribution, please.
Well, yeah, okay, if you want to. I mean, if you're happy just listening to us talking the usual.
Don't do that. No, we should definitely have your contributions. They're much more interesting than us, and yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's not much going on at the moment, but tell us about your castles challenge, or tell us about what you're feeding your birds, or what birds you've got in your garden. I'm just plucking things. I'm not plucking birds. Just to be clear.
We do that on Tuesdays. Yeah, I mean, we love to hear from you. I mean, hopefully there are starting to be races that people can begin to attend. We've maybe got parkrun starting again on first weekend of June, I think it is.
Yeah.
So there are lights at the end of that tunnel.
Just heard that the Doug Anderson 5K is going ahead in July.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Bedford Harriers 5K in Bedford Park, which is the same route pretty much as the parkrun. Yeah. More or less. So I've just seen that doing the rounds on Facebook.
Yeah. So tell us about your adventures. Tell us about your walks, your long runs, where you went to, what you could see, if you saw something interesting. If you get a chance to pause during your run and listen to the birds and record them for us and tell us how you're feeling at that moment.
Yeah. And
do it, and we'd love to hear it.
And if any of you are swimming, let me know how long your ice cream head is lasting for. And
what flavour.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, well, that's about it for this week, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Unless we do put the interview in, which we're not.
Nah, let's save it for next time.
Okay.
Yeah. But don't forget to subscribe, as I mentioned at the start, on iTunes, Spotify, etc. Send your contributions, record them on your smartphone or your stupid phone, if it does that sort of thing, and email them to podcast@fetcheveryone.com. And we will stick them in a future show. And that's a guarantee. And we will see you next time.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Bye.
And did you guess who our mystery voice was introducing the show today? That was Pot Hunter. Thank you very much for your contribution. Tidy.